Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a while, and if I look tired and exhausted, it's because I am. I've been trading in the US quite a lot, and that opens at 11:30 Sydney local time, and it opens that early only during winter. There are two time zone changes that happen, and then it opens at like 2:30 in the morning, so during summertime and stuff, so that kind of sucks. So I take advantage of it because I love trading the US session, the US markets, and it's just, we'll go into it a little bit later, but there's just so much liquidity, so much volatility, and so much opportunity compared to the ASX, particularly for intraday around this time of year. You guys know I don't like trading June, July very much, especially intraday. However, on the ASX, the swing stuff has been performing quite well. Now, I've been a bit slow in uptaking some trades for the swings, but this is a good example of just a typical swing setup with no real news. That's been performing quite well. So just like I've been talking on this channel constantly is range breaks, right? So we've got a nice little setup on the lows here. It breaks down and then does a V-shaped recovery. So I start buying here as it breaks. I can't remember which candle it was, but it was $1.75. It breaks, comes back, and just bounces. And it's just such a clean trade. And just like intraday, like I say on the intraday setups, this rejection usually leads to a recovery. It's a fake out to the downside, and it's just a clean setup. So it works intraday, works on the daily. Been talking about it forever. It's just a basic setup. So we got Pvt performing nicely, and that's it. I only got a couple of other swings in rare earths, and that's it. So that's me on the ASX at the moment. But I am really loving the US session. I'm going to give you an example of a trade that didn't work out very well and the reasons for it. This is 3M. It had a earnings report, and it was so-so. But what struck me was the pre-market was quite nice. You can see it had a pretty significant pre-market, and then it tanked immediately on the first three candles. Like it just sunk not 10, but it was like $7 straight to the anchored VWAP, this is the 2-day VWAP. I'm pretty sure I set it for. It just chills around between the two VWAPs, and then eventually it sells down. Now my trade was getting either was this candle, catching it long with a very tight stop. So it was only about 70 cents loss on this anyway. But the idea is that I've just like Pvt, that setup that I constantly talk about. This is also a setup I talk about, right? It's the inverse of the PCP, pump, consolidate, pump, also known as the VCP, the volatility contraction pattern. So what we have here, instead of just up, consolidate, pump, we've got a dump. So a dump, consolidate, dump, basically. So very, very, very simple setup. Unfortunately, as I recognize it while I got my trade, I think I just sat in the book, got filled, and I was like, hey, this kind of looks like a dump consolidate setup. So I unfortunately didn't flip it or open an alternative position. It was quite unfortunate because this ended up being quite a big mover. So the puts on this, because it was Friday, it had 0-day expiry options, and I'm a huge fiend for 0 DTE. I don't go crazy. I don't put like $5,000 or anything, or $10,000 or anything crazy into it. It's like you put in whatever, $500 a grand, and you can make 10x, 20x, something like that. So depends on the setup, depends on how volatile the market is. But to give you an idea of what the options market looked like at this point in time, here, and you can see it was that's a $2 range, right? So it's quite significant. It was going to move significant in either direction, and this ended up being a tariff play, so it ended up sort of just selling off on tariff related news. And I unfortunately caught that a little bit late. So around these candles up here, it was trading at 25 cents for the $155 put options, expiring on the same day. And around here, I think it was trading around 30 cents, give or take 1 or 2 cents. So I'd show you guys the chart, but unfortunately 0-day expiry options, once they expire, the chart gets deleted, and there's just no history of it anymore. But yeah, you're looking at 155 put options between 23 cents to 30 cents. So it's ranging a bit there. And to give you guys an idea of what the price for that would have been at its peak, would have been here at just above 150. That was trading at $5.50. So you're looking at 22 bags of profit if one caught it. Now, there was a setup that I was looking at as well, which is the reversal at 2 a.m., which is a timing play that works out in the US under certain circumstances. I tweeted about it as well. So you got exactly this candle here, which is creating a higher high. And I was thinking, hey, maybe to VWAP or something like that, but ended up just being a dead cat. These two candles just made certain that this was not fucking happening. So ended up being a dead cat. So practically flat for the day, where, you know, it could have been quite a significant play. I think around here it was maybe $4, I think, for the maybe $3.75, $4 for the 155 put options. And of course there's there's your 2 a.m. reversal, so realistically the trade could have been 25 cents to this 2 a.m. timing reversal. And that would have been perfect. Just multi bags, whether it's $500 or $1,000, and just, from $1,000 to whatever to 15, 16. It's just great. Great sort of returns on a very big setup, because the bigger the range during the consolidation, when there's a dump consolidate, the bigger the move tends to be overall. That's just a general rule of thumb. And a $2 range on this stock, as it's consolidating, is huge. If you just look at the stock trade generally, its range tends to be about $1.30. You look at any given day where it's not got news, its range is pretty small. So having a $2 range is quite significant. So you got a $2 range there, $2.50 range there, $1.50 range. So that gives you an idea of just what it moves like day to day. But yeah, it's $2 range on a consolidation is huge. And that's how I knew that this was either going to move strong in either direction, and unfortunately I just didn't get exposure to the correct side, which is quite unfortunate. However, we'll talk about a setup that did work out, and that was SBET. We had a stock here that I was unfamiliar with until it was on this day here, Monday the 7th of July, where it broke out. You can see this candle just broke out above the pivot. So I caught the options for $17.50 for 9 days expiry. So it was $17.50 calls for $1.10. It was just above $1. And then there were $20 call options for the same duration, 9 days expiry, for 70 cents, give or take 2 cents. And unfortunately, I could have got 50% discount as it closed towards the end of the day at $13.40. Those options halved in value because that breakout didn't happen. And then the options that ended up being like 50 cents, I think, for the $17.50. So just to show you guys what that looks like, $17.50 ain't that far away on a big breakout. That's where $17.50 call options are for 9 days expiry, right? So basically 2 weeks. I think that's 9 days was yeah, because it only just expired on this Friday here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, 10 days, 9 days, whatever. But yeah, so to give you guys an idea of what that ended up being, best case scenario would have been 50 cents on that day. Ethereum was pumping, and this was trading at about 500 million, 600 million market cap US. And they had about $1 billion in Ethereum. Like maybe, I think it was 870 million or something like that in Ethereum. So they were trading below cash backing, or in this case, crypto backing. So, it's just a smooth brain play to the long side. You guys might be wondering, well, what caused the gap down here? I believe it was fake news. Rumors caused it to gap down. Something about funding failure from memory. I can't quite remember, but ended up being a load of shit. It doesn't matter. These guys have almost $1 billion in Ethereum, and it's probably worth more now because Ethereum was pumping as well. So it seemed like a very, very, very straightforward play. I did end up getting spooked here as it was selling down. I can't remember if it was this candle or this candle, but it was $26 where I sold out. So I had about $10. I sold it in parcels. I think it was $10.70 and $11.20 were the parcels for the options on this one. So you're looking at roughly a little over 10 bags. And then, of course, it moves an extra day, another 10 bags. So that could have been about 20, but it is what it is. I had some at the $20 and $17.50, which I thought was super reasonable given the setup and given what I knew about the stock. Trading below cash backing has the history of being able to absolutely pump. And, I wasn't expecting this kind of, $40, $50 move. That too much supply will stop that from happening from the previous days, particularly, on this day here and this launch day here. So supply would have stopped it from absolutely just completely taking off. As you can see, the volumes here as well, just even with this much volume, it still couldn't quite do this. But like I said, I wasn't expecting it because it's done it before. It won't do it again, most likely. So yeah, bit of supply and just a fantastic setup, both fundamentals and technicals lined up. It's just unfortunate it didn't break out on this day, but also unfortunate I didn't get the 50-cent add-on, which would have been just lovely. But 10 bags is wonderful. So there's one failed trade and one really good trade, and that's sort of the thought process behind them. And hopefully I'll start making some more US related content, particularly around 0DTE, which really is only on Fridays for the large stocks. 0DTEs are for the QQQs as well. However, QQQs have not been really doing much in terms of like the amount of range they have. So trading 0DTE on QQQs can yield 10 to 15 bags of profit if there's about 8 ticks or more. 8 points or more intraday. So from top to bottom, you're looking at about 10 to 12 bags. If there's a 10-point move, it could be like 15 to 20. And then if there's like a massive 12, 15-point range, it just goes absolutely crazy and get 30, 40 bags. I'm not saying that as if like that's a regular occurrence. By no means. At this point in time here, it was fantastic, right? Like the range here was absurd, and then you get some days that are just absolutely monsters. But you can see the daily chart just at the range here. It's like whatever. It's 3 points, 5 points. 5 is okay, but it's not ideal. 4 points. So you're not getting really big ranges intraday, and 0DTE I find just suck unless you have at least 7 or 8 points intraday. It's tradable. Like you're just not going to make bags. That's all. So if you really want to consider putting down 500 to make 1,000, then yeah, whatever. But have fun with that. It'll be a slow slog. But I'm more of a favor of just waiting for these big volatility events, seeing what the VIX does, if the VIX moves hard or if it's setting up to move hard. And usually you have little spikes that suggest that there's going to be more volatility ahead. So nothing like that's happened lately. The Qs are a bit quiet, so just keep an eye on that, and hopefully it will make some interesting content in the next few days in the US sessions. Alright guys, peace.